Gosh, if only we had recorded that part of it.
What's up, fam? It's the week 11 edition of the People's Podcast. No jingle this week, but we have the return of the creator.
Booyaka, booyaka, 619. Booyaka, booyaka, that's Weaver. I know.
And Bill is also back. Lots of new faces. Oh, yeah. Cheers, buckaroos.
I already opened mine.
Oh,
Amateur hour over there.
podcasting. Cheers. So since it's been a while since we've heard from you, Weaver, why don't you just hop into your last month update?
Yeah, holy Toledo. So my Spanish cohorts, colleagues, compañeros, they decided to open a new lab 3 weeks before the season was to start, where 10 of the 12 sites would send their fruit for experiments. And because they're already running pretty lean with employees, they decided they're going to hire 5 new employees to operate this lab. And so that's just a plan of just last minute chaos. So I flew over there to try to just focus on team building stuff and locking in all of our training materials, using these newbies as my actors. What ended up happening was instead of being the Robin to the Batman of the person that was supposed to be the supervisor, that person was also responsible for commissioning 2 other locations. So I just turned into mid-level management while I was abroad.
Nice.
Yeah. And instead of focusing on writing protocols and filming stuff, I actually was responsible for receiving shipments and meeting with safety evaluators and filling out dozens of pages of legal documents that I have no clue what they said because my Spanish is mediocre at best, and it's all in Spanish, and I'm the only appeal representative.
Mid-management.
Yeah.
How did they pronounce your name in Spanish?
It's all sorts of wrecked. So I heard Aaron, Aaron. And then it was always Weaver, which is fun.
Yeah, Weaver.
And then, I was like, no, it's Weaver. And then they're like, okay, Weaver. But yeah, that was fun.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was just chaotic, right? And I'm supervising 5 people that only one of them really knows English. And then 2 of them spoke Valenciana, which is not even Spanish. It's a dialect of Catalan. So here I am, with my garbo Spanish skills, trying my best to train technical tasks to one person that speaks broken English, 2 very bad English speakers, and then 2 that don't even speak Spanish, really. It's just oh my God, what have I gotten into? And yeah. So that was wild. I informed you all about the gnarly food poisoning I got. It was the worst food poisoning of my life. And really funny, Ashley set me up for failure. She, has been working in the sushi industry for over a decade. And so we got the seafood pasta. And this is after 4 hours of just I don't know, looking for places to eat, places being full, walking around. Okay, we'll get food later. And we're both starving. We finally find a restaurant. It's a brand stinking open, freshly opened restaurant. Nobody's there. We're okay, this is weird. We decide to go big. We order big pasta. We go with seafood. And yeah, so Ashley thinking to herself, oh, this shrimp tastes a little weird. And so she keeps nudging it over to my side of the plate. Yeah. And I'm sick, more seafood, more shrimp for me. Just, I love you, honey. Splitting food with you is so great. And then I just spent all night vomiting, diarrhea. It was kind of cool because the Dodgers were still in the playoffs. at the time, so I like was able to listen to the radio broadcast while I'm like in the toilet. So she admitted to me later, like how just out of guilt that she like knew something was up with the shrimp, but she didn't think it would be that.
You think, yeah, you're just like had a stronger stomach or something, or a strong stomach, and it wouldn't be anything.
I don't know. She was just like, I don't like the taste of this, and so she was letting me get down on it.
You obviously like the taste.
Yeah, you didn't think anything was wrong with it. Yeah.
Like, wow. Well, that's funny too, because like you're in a foreign land, right? So all the flavors are like slightly different, right? And so just like
That's called food poisoning.
so it was supposed to be 3 weeks. I stayed for an extra fourth because setting up this lab, you figure we had received 3 pallets of equipment, completely missing just like all sorts of random stuff. Like we have 2 cameras and they need to be on like permanently. They don't really, but they didn't come with a wall plug. They just had temporary batteries. So like that's not going to work for us for our uses. And then we don't even have the USB plug to plug it into our computers. It's just like, okay, we can't even get these pictures off of the cameras anyway. So like, what? So that was funny. I should honestly still be there to this day. Like we're still figuring things out, but now I'm doing it like 9 hours removed. So that's kind of crazy. But yeah, super fun trip. I fell in love with Valencia. It's very similar to Santa Barbara in a lot of ways. They have a beach, which was super cool. I ran into a beach tournament there and watched the championship game. That was sick.
How was it?
It was medium level. Like
medium.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah, if we were all still in shape, we could stroll up there and win, no problem.
Hell
I
yeah.
think right now we probably lose just because of our conditioning.
Fitness level, yeah.
Yeah.
It's what me and Kurt did, man. We just rolled into teams and just were like, oh, sick. We're just the best.
Yeah. It was cool to watch. So random. Ate a lot of paella, a lot of bread, so much bread.
Yeah. Dude, they just have those baguettes in every supermarket, like 35 cents. So maybe with inflation, 40. I don't know.
Dude, yeah, I was loving it. The wine selection is insane. You can buy a bottle of wine for €150 and drink half a bottle of it. You don't feel bad the next day. I don't know, like the quality of their cheap wine is just significantly better than our wine.
Wow.
What's the secret? Yeah, I know. It's straight full-blown alcoholism.
Sounds great.
I think, or is it just Euro living? I don't know.
Yeah, no, it's European. You're trying to assimilate into the culture while you're there.
Yeah. So it was a successful trip. I plan on going back next year. So that's cool. Yeah, that was a lot. And I'm back now.
For play like next year. You think the work will send you back?
Oh yeah. Yeah. We already have it in the budget that I'm going to Europe, and I'll be going to Latin America as well. Super cool. I don't know if Mexico, Costa Rica, or Peru, but already it's in the budget. So that's pretty exciting.
It's like second class Spain. So that's sick.
How was your weekend, Bill?
A little bit less happened in mine than your 3 weeks, but as expected. Collin can attest to this. We've had a cold front hit Bend. We woke up this morning. It was 24 degrees outside. So that's where you just sit in your car for 10 minutes to let your windshield defrost and other parts of your engine defrost. But last weekend was a very nice weekend. It was like mid 60s. So we went camping. We just drove like 20 miles out east where it's all just BLM land. We had probably 6 people total, just had a big bonfire, rager, drank a lot, and then I went mountain biking before that. next to all this cow farm. And so it's a steep hill. But then then we went camping, woke up to a beautiful sunrise, and then drove home. Made sure that was a Saturday night, so made sure I wasn't playing anyone who was out on Sunday.
Very
But
smart.
luckily I didn't have any problems. And then watched, football all Sunday and drank more. It was great.
Very nice.
Yeah. Colin?
Yeah, so this is a continuation of my travels. Last podcast, I was with Brad in Santa Barbara. Stayed another night. Friday, we went and saw Brad's buddy Sal, his band play at M Special downtown. Actually, this is a fun story. Ran into a bunch of people at this concert, including Dan Bellinger and his lovely fiance, Melissa. And they insisted that myself and like two other people come back to their place to take shots. And I was like, look, I got to get up at 6 a.m. tomorrow. So I'm driving to Slow for the Black Tide tournament. So like in my mind going out, I was like, I got to have like X amount of drinks and drink this much water over the night. Not going to get hammered. I'm going to get up bright-eyed and bushy-tailed, no problem. And then I ran into Dan Bellinger and we went back to his place to take shots, but he left like maybe 3 minutes before myself and another dude left. Dan went to Bobcat for some like pre-game, the shot taking. I don't know why Dan went to Bobcat, but we ended up meeting him at Bobcat. He got 4 drinks, ended up only being 3 of us, Dan, myself, and another dude. So I drank 2 of these drinks, these cocktails. Then went back to Dan's place, multiple rounds of shots. Eventually made it back to M Special where like Brad and the other homies were. But at this point, I've had like double the amount of alcohol that I planned on having. Continued drinking a little bit. Eventually, drunkenly stumbled my way. And I like was walking downtown and back, right? Because Brad lives on like State and Arriaga. So walked from there all the way to M Special, walked to Dan's place, walked back to M Special, walked to Blue Owl on the way back because I love me some Blue Owl pork fried rice. Went in there. I know Weaver hates the price, but this is a happy story. For those of us who went to Stu's wedding, Elise was the maid of honor for Amber. Her boyfriend, Elisa? I think it's Elise. Her boyfriend, Sean, works part-time at Blue Owl, which I did not know until I drunkenly stumbled in this Friday night. And so he's a super homie. We chatted for like 5-10 minutes. He gave me free pork fried rice. Stacked it up. Yeah. So then I'm just like munching on this as I'm like stumbling back to Brad's house. Eat like 3/4 of it. Get back in there. Brad stayed out because he was spitting game. I go to bed. I wake up at 6 a.m. the next morning. Didn't hear Brad come in at all, and he like did. And I was like, did Brad come home? I have no idea. Not terribly hungover, but hungover enough to where I was like 15 minutes later leaving than I thought I would be. But like made like a French press pot, warmed up the rest of my pork fried rice. Got to Slow about 10 minutes before Tide's first game. All the boys were stoked to see me. I was feeling pretty good at this point. Saturday went pretty well for them. They cruised through their first 2 games against ASU and Cal. Again, this is the current team plus the seniors that have graduated the last like year and a half. Met Slow in the semis because of how the format went. The pool winners went directly to the semis. Lost 15-9 to Slow. Slow is just a better team all around. Back to our bracket. Next day, played UCSD. They were up 7-4, Tide was, and lost 15-12. UCSD went on a 9-4 run in the second half.
Wow. Tough.
Excruciating to watch them. And then it was like classic, end of regionals emotions. People were crying. So that was the thing. Super happy to like go and watch them. Also, Bacon was there observing. So sweet to like hang out with Bacon. We actually shared a hotel room. Went to Buffalo Wild Wings on Saturday night. I know I sent that drinking snap. We got 15 wings that we split. One was a lemon pepper rub, delicious. One was like a honey barbecue sauce, delicious. Third one, and I picked all 3 of these. Bacon's like, pick whatever you want. I was like, okay. Third one was mango habanero, which was the third spiciest on their like list of probably like 30 different flavors. And it was hot, and Bacon was legit crying, like just like tears are streaming down his face. I definitely was getting a little misty too. Like, I'm not saying that I just took it down, no problem, but Bacon was like crying. We had like those tall ass beers. Bacon basically chugged his beer. And then after the first wing, he's like, I can't have another one of those wings before we order another beer. And the next few, we just like dunked in ranch, and then they were manageable. But the first wing, Bacon just went in basically blind, and he was like,
Had no idea.
just destroyed by it. Weekend not over for Collin though. Sunday, watch Tide lose, watch the championship game for men's. Slow beat Stanford. Watch the Skirts actually in the morning. I watched their semis. They cruised past Stanford. They actually went down like 3-2 down a break, and then they scored 5 straight breaks. Break. And it was like, this is awesome. Caitlin's ripping cross-field hammers. It's like being Caitlin.
No way.
And then they beat UCSD in the final. So Skirts are Southwest College champions, for those of you who don't know. But yeah, so I drove to SF then, stayed with Evan and Alice on Sunday night. Was super like just beat from the weekend, lots of sun, lots of like drinking, even like on the sidelines I was drinking. So not much happened Sunday night. Monday worked there. I spent a lot of time with Winston. He was super stoked as always, the little pup. And then I drove to Fremont, where Chelsea's parents live. Had a amazing, long and huge Chinese buffet dinner. They had the Chinese takeout, so they had like 10 dishes. Some of Chelsea's family was over at their place, so that was really cool, just hanging out with all them. Then her parents drove me to the airport, met Chelsea in SFO because Chelsea flew from San Diego to SFO.
Was she not at this buffet?
No, so Chelsea stayed in San Diego. Went to the concert with Curtis Sunday night. They saw Corey Wong, who Kurt loves, who we all have like know from Kurt, and rave reviews from both Kurt and Chelsea about that concert. In any case, then we flew to Redmond, and we've been here ever since. I played like disc golf every day, marginally working, and now we're hanging out with Bill and Becca.
Damn, that was an epic. I feel like I just listened to Odyssey. That was wild.
It's been a lot. My like basically, yeah. So I drove to SB on Wednesday night, and then made it to San Francisco by Sunday night. And yeah, so that's that. But now we're in the atonement section.
Atonement.
We're gonna have some extra special guests during this one, just to prove some life is running through two girlfriends.
Shut the fuck up.
Yep.
How fun.
So while we wait for them to show up, Weaver, what are you atoning for?
Yeah, so this atonement, really cool, actually. This is a shot glass that I bought in Valencia. Ooh. Wow. I don't know why there's lizards on it, because I didn't see a single
gecko.
I didn't see a single gecko in my whole month there, so makes no sense. But it was the non-cheapest looking shot glass of them all. So my atonement is for not watching a single football game in an entire month. And how devastating that was for me. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, both. How was that for your like well-being? I know on Sundays during football season, if I'm not watching football, I get this like underlying like anxiousness, like I want to be watching football right now. Why am I not watching football?
Yeah, it was interesting because like, so for me, like not being able to speak Valenciana and my Spanish was a little bit difficult. There was always like a little bit of discomfort when I would go out and like go to restaurants or try to interact with the locals. So that's why I never went to try to find a bar that was playing football games, right? Because then I'd have to like handle dealing with lines and all that kind of crazy navigating like COVID policies and all that stuff. So I was just like, it was just off limits, and I'll just hang out. Well, more often than not, we would go out to dinner Sunday night. So it's like I was doing things. And then when I get back to the hotel, I'd check the, feverishly scroll and update Yahoo and just be like, oh God, Still no score. Serious? Oh God. Yeah. So it was very easy to deal with abroad, but I totally understand your feeling when at home and not able to do so. So
Yeah, wait, hold. Wait, I think we should all do it together, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
They're not coming. So
that's an atonement.
I have Becca, I swear she's alive. She just ate. She said her tummy's full.
Wow.
So
what are you atoning for then?
Well, funny story as well. I'm atoning for my $52 bet on Adrian Peterson because he might have been worth 2. And I bet 50 more than that. And funny story, because Collin's here, he had the second highest bid. And this goes back a couple weeks ago when the news of Derrick Henry came out. That the Titans, we were playing disc golf and we got the news that the Titans signed Adrian Peterson. And I was driving and I was like, I'm not going to pick him up. Like, that's just, I think that backfield's just blah. It's a whole mess. And fast forward. So then Collin, he leaves, he's flying somewhere back to his apartment that fell apart.
Damn it.
And turns out I had a change of opinion. I was like, you know what? Kind of need a running back, as we all do. And so I set a $47 bid. And I wake up at midnight. I'm watching a show. I wake up at midnight and go, I think I'm going to lose if I bet 47. I'm going to change it to 52. Turns out I beat Collin. That was the switch at midnight. It would have flipped where I would have lost had I not done that. And so my atonement is I wish I did not wake up at midnight to change my bet.
Yeah, I feel that. The tinker of the bid.
Tinker bid.
Yeah.
Well, my atonement is not actually really atonement because I got nothing to atone for because I'm in a model of consistency this past week.
Yes.
But I did make a bet with Brad on the Max Evan matchup last week, a shot bet, and I took Evan after I had posted in the group me, maybe Max can reverse the curse. Ended up not going with Max. Brad took Max and Max won.
Gosh, this I love the league pick'em curse. It's so cool. What is it at like 90% success rate?
Yeah, I actually dodged that because I think everyone picked me this past week. Brad picked Adam, but he didn't actually submit the pick in the league. But in any case, yes.
Gotta be in the lead pick'em. All right, boys.
Cheers, brother.
JMO,
meet Mark.
Didn't join us.
God damn it.
The whole of them being alive or not, just really
That's just
that can just gets kicked down the road now.
Did you guys? Was this a scripted?
No, I have a third shot poured here. Becca, I swear, she might have died in the last 20 minutes, but it was going to come out and atone for the debatable dinner she made.
Anyway, next segment, fun storylines to follow throughout the season. So I did a deep dive today. I wanted to look into those of us who are currently placed 3rd through 10th, the remaining strength of schedule of our opponents, and who has the easiest strength of schedule and who has the most difficult strength of schedule. I did not do these stats for Evan or Stu because I think they're basically locked into a playoff spot. And I did not do them for Bacon and Max. I think they're pretty much locked into the Sacco bracket.
Mm-hmm.
The one caveat I'll throw out as I was doing this is there are 8 teams that I evaluated, and these records go from 6-4 to 4-6. So there's a lot basically around 500 because everybody is basically around 500. But be that as it may, there are still some people who have an easier road. So without getting into every single matchup for the next 4 weeks, Bill has the easiest strength of schedule. He currently is sitting at 4th. His opponents are myself, Adam, Bacon, and Weaver, which is a total of a 0.425 winning percentage. O'Malley and Adam follow him at a 0.45. After that, Weave and Pebs follow with a 0.5. So again, their opponent's collective record is 500. Scott and Brad Scott after that with 0.525, Brad at 0.575, and then your boy at 0.6.
Wow.
So I have the hardest strength of schedule. I'm currently in 7th place. Bill has the easiest strength of schedule. He is currently in 4th place. Another thing you can glean from this is those who have the easiest strength of schedule have Bacon on their schedule in the remaining month, and those who have the most difficult strength of schedule have Evan as a matchup in the next month. Although there is someone who has both. I think it might be O'Malley. Someone plays both. Oh no, it's it is O'Malley. O'Malley plays both Evan and Bacon, but they basically cancel each other out. And O'Malley actually gets Bacon and Max in the final 2 weeks of the season, which is interesting because he's currently at 6th. And him and I have a final regular season placement bet going on where we made this at Stu's wedding, where O'Malley actually was 2 games ahead of me. O'Malley was very recently on a 4-game losing streak. And so now him and I are both at 5-5.
Wow.
But yeah, he gets to play Bacon and Max to end the year, where I get a dose of Bill, Weaver, Scott, and Evan.
Gosh, that's a fun segment.
Yes.
Yeah. And Weaver, just because you're here, we can give you a little bit of some love. Yeah, you're sitting at 500. You're playing Brad, myself, Adam, and Bill.
Yeah, it's I feel good. I think I can get 2 wins out of that last four.
I think you need 2. You need 2.
I need 2. Yeah.
Yeah.
8 wins is comfortable in.
comfortable.
I think 7 wins, you need the points to get in that last spot, probably.
Yeah. I've been able to boom before, but not quite as boomy as other people. But yeah.
Actually, one more thing we can do. Speaking of points for, we'll do most points for to least points for these 8 teams. Brad has far and away the most. He's sitting at 1,313. He's 5-5. Weaver, you're next with a little over 1,200. Bill is third in that at 1,176. Scott 1,168. O'Malley 1,108. Collin 1,106. Pebbles 1,074, and Adam has yet to crack 1,000.
Yikes.
He's at 985.
Big oof.
And actually, I gotta double check that because that seems incredibly low.
No, it's real. I'm looking at it too.
That's
It's
accurate. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
tough. But he's had a hell of a season, right? Like nobody could have projected Ridley not belonging on the COVID IR slot, being out. Yeah, that's
Doesn't make up for 300 points that you should have to catch.
Maybe it does. Yeah, it has me think about the coin flip decision I made on draft day between Ridley and Hopkins.
Oh, baby.
Hopkins really hasn't been that great either. I mean, he's scored some touchdowns, but he's missed like at least 3 or 4 games. Yeah.
I mean, he's missing his 2nd and 3rd round pick. Carson has been out forever as well. So that's tough. Tough to come back from.
So yeah, that's that segment. Next fun thing to chat about is the chatter in the group me about the increase in league dues. It seems like it's pretty universally accepted beyond Scott, who I think we can have some kind of arrangement where it won't be an issue at all. But yeah, do you guys want to comment on your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I think I sparked the discussion in GroupMe. Being a late listener to last week's pod, it was mentioned the increase, and I have always wanted to increase it, but I've also been very conscious of other people's incomes. I'm a little more lucky than others, I think, and as far as my income goes. So I've never been pushing it. And I'm on board with the increase. And I'd also be curious. This is an ad hoc proposal of what if we move forward? Scott continues to pay 100, and then whatever the increase is, we split that as a league. So instead of let's say 200, we make it 200. The 11 of us split that extra 100, so it would be like
Bucks.
my buy-in is $211 instead of 200, right? Something like that.
No problem.
Yeah, I think that would be super easy because I'm dating somebody who's in grad school, and she, finance is something that she is consistently stressing about, and rightfully so, right? So I'm not trying to add that kind of weight to Scott's world. So I do want to increase the stakes because I'm a degenerate gambler, and I also want to make sure that everybody has the ability to play. That's where I'm at. Bill, how about you? Huh?
Yeah, I'm in a similar way. To me, the difference between $100 and $200, like I'll spend $100 on some stupid shit, and like. So in my mind, I'm like, yeah, if it's for a year's worth of a Frisbee thing, like I could justify that at no problem. But honestly, the thought I've had is like, for me, it's not about the money. It's not like, and trust me, I've won several times.
God damn it.
Like, it's been nice.
It's been nice.
But for me, yeah, yeah, I'm saying I am down. I'm also not down. It's really, I think Max said something beautiful in the GroupMe today about just like, if somehow if funds were an issue and we can have those funds allocate like a place where we can all meet and hang out together, and maybe that's Vegas, maybe because for me personally, I don't want Vegas because I know I'd hit that blackjack table and I'd probably lose a lot of money, but like that's just what it is. But yeah, I feel like we could have Vegas. There's all these things that I want to propose. At the end of the day, I just want all my buds to be together. So inclusivity is a big factor, but personally, yeah. Honestly, that's just me not buying like six packs in a year, which I could easily do if like to justify it. So yeah, no problem.
Yeah. Also nice that you get a disc golf disc at cost from Gear.
Hey, shh. No, yeah.
What's going on the internet, Collin?
If you need some disc golf, hit up Chaboy.
Awesome. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
What are your thoughts?
On the dues, yeah, I'm down. It doesn't really matter to me how much I'll pay. I'll pay to play. I like it. Maybe one of these years I'll win, and it'll just recoup all my. Don't shake your head at me.
Colin's like, I'm down if fourth place gets something.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too, Bill.
Increase the dues, and fourth place gets their money back. All right, there we go. Wow.
The dope fedora. Think of it that way.
Yeah.
No one's bought me a fedora. God damn it.
There needs to be a fourth place fedora. God damn it.
There is one.
Well, it needs to be.
Bacon has a fedora.
Needs to be worn on game day.
All right. Next section. We're actually going to skip all this because we've all answered these questions. We haven't had any listener questions this week. Well, besides that extremely deep dive Pebbles threw out there is like,
what the hell?
I could spend like 4 hours doing that. Maybe it'd be like 2 hours. I don't know, maybe 4 hours. But I think I actually did a version of that a few years ago, which was fun. So That's something that I could not prepare today between the time it was requested until the time this is recorded, but something I
Yeah.
could look into a little bit.
Yeah, I agree. That was a big deep dive.
I will say that both O'Malley and Bacon have really, well, maybe not Bacon so much this year, but last year they both turned the tide for, like, usually they were the punching bags of the league, and then they both ended in the top 4, I think, last year. And all season we're giving these guys a hard time at the draft, and O'Malley's just been giving Pebbles free wins for like 5 years. That's why we had to change our rivals. And then O'Malley and Bacon performed well last year. And I think O'Malley is like 5-5 right now, but not at the cellar.
Dude, if
Most of the league. So yeah.
if O'Malley misses the playoffs this year, I propose he gets an asterisk, just like the COVID victories, just like everybody's talking shit on the Dodgers and their COVID World Series. That's O'Malley's fantasy seasons during COVID. That's the only time he can do well. Just kidding. I love you, Sean.
Who the fuck is Sean? All right. So next we have Fab section.
Fab.
So there was some action that we had this week. I personally was involved in a number of bids that I lost all of them because everybody else is a little more motivated than I was. But going through them, Wayne Gallman Jr. goes to Minaj for 9, which beat Weave Dog's bid of 2. Weaver, why did you bid $2 on Gallman? What's your thinking there?
Well, your boy is hurting on running backs right now. And, if there's a chance that Gallman can usurp Mike Davis, looks like he already has, and Cordarrelle Patterson is showing his true age and true colors and becomes irrelevant again, that could be a starting running back. And so I put in 2 because there's a lot of things that have to happen for that to actually happen. But I think last year Gallman took over for the Giants and was very good. Was that last year or 2 years ago? Anyways,
yeah. Saquads was down. Gallman was in
for the last 6 weeks.
I remember.
It's very, very good, very serviceable. So
I've seen split opinion on Gallman. Half of the media is like, yeah, pick him up because Mike Davis sucks dick, as we've seen all year. And half the media is like, the Falcons were getting their asses kicked and they pulled anybody who was anybody so they would not get injured. So I have no idea how to think about it. There's a very real chance Patterson does not play tomorrow night, and I have Mike Davis, and so I have to make a decision whether to play him or not. Most likely not, unless I get some catastrophic injury news in the next 24 hours. I don't trust him. I don't trust either of them. So we'll see. $9 seems a little rich to me. Actually, let me take that back. $9 is the most perfect bid to have.
I can talk shit because he outbid me, and I think $9 is too rich for sure. This is my anti-O'Malley podcast. Every podcast of the season, I have to choose one league member that I shit talk, and tonight's O'Malley's night. Sorry, Buckaroo.
Next one, Jamal Agnew goes to Dear Godwin, Make Me a Bird. We got a name change, folks. So
I love his name.
Yeah,
it's so good.
Texting Adam yesterday about Shang-Chi because it's now available for download on Disney Plus, and I watched it on the plane flying up here, and then I finished it yesterday. And when I was in the Bay Area last, we played disc golf. And Adam was asking me, mentioning the movie and the song that Aquafina sings when she's trying to be in defense mode, that character Katie. And I couldn't remember what the song was, but it's Hotel California, right? Welcome to the Hotel California. That's what she tries to do. It doesn't work for that ninja. But anyway, I was like, oh, that's what it is. Texted Adam that. He sent me this amazing thread from a Metro worker on Twitter who analyzes the whole bus fight scene. It's basically like in this scene, you can see they're in this part of the city, but this next scene, they're 30 minutes away across the town, which is crazy. And it's like super funny thread. Awesome. But I bring it up because in the middle of all this, Adam was like, it's things like this that take the sting out of my fantasy team's tumble down the rankings. I was like, oh. And then today it's like, dear God, would make me a bird.
That was an awesome story. We went from Shang-Chi back to Dear Godwin, Make Me a Bird.
Full circle. Best stories, full circle.
Honestly.
And with that, Jamal Agnew goes to Dear Godwin, Make Me a Bird for
He was
$8.
active.
Amari Cuff, fuck yeah, bid $0. Got beat by a lot. Agnew's
bet.
someone, yeah, it's the perfect bet. He's someone who's been like mentioned for the last like month, but it's a Jaguar, so how can you really trust?
He's putting up the fantasy numbers that I wanted LaVisca to put up all season.
Yeah.
Like, what? Yeah, Jags, go fuck themselves.
Yeah, he's I don't know.
Yeah. I had LaVisca last year and I learned like, man, I don't want anyone on the Jags. Turns out.
I held on to LaVisca probably 4 weeks too long, just hoping that Trevor Lawrence would figure it out. But yeah, still hasn't.
Trevor Lawrence has never lost a game in his life.
They're Florida. They don't figure stuff out.
Yeah.
Adam actually won 3 of these bids. Agnew, Johnson, and the Cleveland defense. I was in on both Johnson and the Cleveland defense.
I do think Johnson's a good pickup. How long is Julio out? Do we know?
He was placed on the IR, which is 3-game minimum.
Yeah.
But he's been injured outside of that anyway. So
I think that's a good pickup. I think, and what happened last game, I believe, when I was watching, was all the coverage is focused on AJ Brown. And that's like the classic. You get the second receiver. That's like a very good strategy. And I think with Julio out for extended time, like that's a very solid pickup.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's nuts that this guy basically came out of nowhere because they have other receivers. But this is the first we're hearing of him. So
he's MJ.
15 for him. Beat myself by 10, and Evan with a tepid $0 offer.
Perfect bid.
It's nice. It's nice to put in flaccid bids, like your team is so good. You don't really care if you pick this person up.
Like, what are you even doing at that point? Yeah, that's like a tepid bid for both Agnew and Johnson.
I don't really want this player, but I guess, I'll take him, see if something happens.
Yeah.
Lifestyles of the rich and the famous.
Yeah,
for
me
sure.
on the other end of it, I put in like 4 offers, lost all of them. Ended up with my boy Robbie Anderson back though. 1 week hiatus, couldn't stay away.
No way, you didn't.
You are so bad. You're not even gonna play him, are you?
There's a world where I have to play him because my team is banged up to no end. Anyway, Cleveland goes to Adam as well. I think that was a good bid. They play the Detroit Lions. That's a good 1 week play. Ravens after that, though, so I don't know about it. But best pickup, I think, is from O'Malley's as well. Wow, it's just O'Malley and Adam winning all these fucking bids. Oh, we should do all transactions, see who bid money without having to do so. Any case, Miami plays the fucking Texans, I think, this week. They have the Jets, then the Panthers. Oh, Topo Chico. That's a seltzer. The Giants. Dolphins have been balling out. They've scored 17 and 18 points on defense the last 2 weeks. Very shocking the result last Thursday night when we were recording the podcast.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
But I think this is good. I was trying to replace my own defense. You're not convinced.
I don't know. Miami's, to my knowledge, still part of Florida. And I don't know. We just talked about the Jaguars.
Don't you have a defense that also is a part of Florida?
It's true. The Bucks. Yeah. And I'm not, they're still in Florida, but they got Tom Brady. So they offset. Tom Brady, whatever he shits on is gold.
Did he have a good game last weekend?
I got the W. Don't you love when you have a -3 point something? Like he had 2 picks to start a game. You're like, oh boy, let's just get to the positive points here.
I feel like one of those 2 picks should have been a reception and
A fumble?
fumble.
I agree with you. I also thought the tip off of that wasn't an interception. It went off Godwin's ankle. That should have been a pick. So I'll take the whatever magic happened. That was some horse shit. I'll tell you that.
It's all about balance. That was wild, though. That was just what is happening here? Yeah. Congratulations, Max. Washington got the W. But at this point, do you want Washington to win or do you want the high draft pick?
Yes. Well, I mean, I don't know if that division's wrapped up yet.
I think morale is important.
I think the Dolphins is a good defensive pickup.
Yeah.
They play the Jets, the Panthers, the Giants for bye. They have the Jets. So
2 Jets.
4 out of the next 5 weeks. They got pretty
good
matchups. I mean, we'll see with Carolina what Cam is up
to.
to.
That's a solid pickup.
Yeah.
It's defense. You know, it's kind of random at times. It's so random at times. But yeah.
Wow, Cam is still available in our league. That's fun.
That is fun and interesting. I definitely
Should I pick him up?
I
I could have
a live pickup. It's so funny because you did a live pickup the last podcast we did.
I have DJ Moore and CMC. I wonder if I just got all. You want to show me Robbie Anderson?
Yeah, for sure.
For sure. That sounds right up at Collin's alley. Pick up some waiver wire garbage, not even waiver wire, free agent garbage, and try to trade him to somebody.
I've had great success. I traded both Burrow and Trey Lance, who I just picked up for free.
So ridiculous. Why are people accepting these trades?
Because they're desperate. All right, that's the fab portion. While Bill's looking into picking up Cam here.
Should I drop Peterson?
If you drop Peterson, oh my God, that would be insane. I wonder what the bid round 2 would be. You know, we get these Saturday bids. God, that would be
nuts. That'd be nuts.
Probably not him. It seems like
but all the others are backups. Anyway, we should continue.
So we had a trade that happened, and it involved Evan, and then no one rabbled about it, and then he got upset that no one rabbled about it. So now we get a rabble about it. So Weaver, what's your reaction to this trade?
Honestly, what the fuck is Scott doing here? I mean, to be fair, it is a trade that theoretically benefits both of them, but I just don't like Swift. It's clearly Swift versus Mike Evans, right? Like Aguilar and Kenny Drake, what are they even doing in this trade at all? Like just trying to make it a little more blurry lines or whatever.
Yep.
So stupid. But like it feels to me like this is just a stupid trade, in my opinion. But you know, they both think that there's value there. Mike Evans is shockingly WR1, right? Like he's top 10. So that's pretty dope. But like the RB market is just so crazy right now. I think you hold on to DeAndre Swift just to not give it to the first place, not give him to the first place team. Like what?
I agree. Especially add on the fact that Scott has Antonio Brown. So while the Bucs offense is good, when they have a bad game, and in Scott's position, you got to win every game. That's just like kind of putting your eggs in, you know, a very similar basket, like a very similar Buccaneers basket, you know? I'm not saying the Lions are good, but Swift has been, I mean, at one point he was the number 1 running back.
He's getting a crazy amount of action.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree with you completely. Running backs are fucking, this has been a weird year, and running backs have been like the money makers. So I did feel that was a little premature, like virgin kind of blowing your load status, but that's just me.
It pains me to see the first place team get such an asset at this point of the season. That's just like, that's tough.
Yeah.
But I mean, you know, back in the day, I was very veto heavy, and I didn't really like fully take into consideration what each owner was working towards. And as I've tried to like, I'm not a very big trader. And so over the years, I've been trying to like get more involved in that. And so now I know how much more discussion goes into trades and like trying to make things work, and all the thinking that goes into it, you know, at least I hope.
Yeah.
So that's why I like didn't rabble, because it's just like, you know, me and Scott worked out a trade earlier in the season. He got fucked by it. I've actually considered you know, reversing the trade, especially if Kyler Murray is out again, you know, just like I feel bad.
Dude, that's what he gets though. I made that comment when the trade happened. I was like, you better hope Kyler doesn't go down.
Yeah. So looking at Scott's team though, like you look at his wide receivers, he does not like he has, Antonio Brown and Mike Evans, but like T. Higgins and Landry, like he's starting Landry. That's not good. That means you don't have good receivers. And at one point, he had one startable running back on his bench with 3 flexes in play. So he did have one to trade. Connor was a huge come up. Taylor's obviously awesome. He had Swift, but then you look at, he has Aaron Jones and he has Murray. Murray, I think, is a valuable startup. And when Aaron Jones comes back, it's like, cool. Now he has 4 running backs. So he did have the luxury of having quite a few running backs. I think the big thing is you hate to see it go to the first place team. Like that's what it is.
This is fun. I just thought of this. What would you have done instead? You're shopping DeAndre Swift. Who do you go and get instead to try to bolster your wide receiver core? Take some time to look at some teams. I'm looking at Evan's team right now, and like I think that DeAndre Swift probably could have been worth Evans and Cooks, perhaps, or Elijah Moore, definitely Ayuk, right? Like I think he could have gone Swift for 2 startable receivers.
So looking at the other side of this trade, Evan is feeling pretty good with the Ayuk pickup. So Evan felt he was dealing from a position of strength, as is Scott, of course. So like when I said in the group me, I was like, this is good today, but in like 3 weeks, we'll see. Because I mean, Elijah Moore, who Evan is starting this week, has had a good 3 weeks here, but like that's kind of hard to trust a rookie as a startable asset every day. Ayuk has been really bad except for 1 week, basically, and he went back to being an afterthought in
Deebo
the game
Samuel, baby,
where the Niners won by 21 points. I'm sure game script didn't help his production, but still. And on the Scott side, I would have tried to trade a non-Swift guy. Now I don't know all the discussions, but I think that Jones is in trouble of losing his job, or at least having it severely like decreased coming off the injury and like the ascension of Dylan. Same with James Conner. Like Edmonds is going to come back eventually. I'm not sure what the severity of his injury is, but I feel like Swift is a more like long game play, whereas 2 of the running backs that he kept could lose their value before it's time for the playoffs. At this point, if Scott's just like trying to get in, and he's like, my receivers are not that great, I need to get one. We'll see what happens. Okay. I think Evan's receiving core is super shallow now after that trade. Basically, all of them are really boomer busty, and like more often than not busty. So, yeah, it sucks to see Swift go to Evan, but I'm not really sure who comes out like on top in this trade. Evan is already in the playoffs, so probably doesn't really matter for the next like month. But like when playoff time comes,
Swift. I mean, I feel like I personally would rather have the running back at this point. Obviously, this is crazy. Like each week changes the whole landscape of like what's happening. Like
That's
one
another
week,
point.
I literally had last week a bench full of running backs, hence the backup running back store. Fucking one panned out, got myself a fucking full lineup, and I'm stoked.
Yeah, that's a really good point too. It's like it's fantasy. At the end of the day, a lot of it is luck. We don't know who's going to pan out. They could both just go on cold streaks and be non-factors and curses for the rest of the season. You know, that's the way it goes, right? Trader hurts for AB. I really was like sad to lose AB, and he's just been hurt for the entire duration of the season. But one thing I will say is I think Scott's team is so nasty. Like this is my Weaver curse. I'm putting it on him. It was on Evan
last year. Yeah.
I was on Evan last year. I think if Scott can get, if he gets into the playoffs, I think he'll be just such a nasty little team. Evans and AB can both produce. Like Tom Brady's slanging it with the best of them.
He is.
And his RB core, it's insane. He's got an insane team. I don't know how he's sitting at 4-6. It's insane. Ugh. Yeah.
Moving on.
Yeah. Was that some good rambling? Are you happy, Evan?
Love Evan. Yeah. Let's
I think in summarization, it was a very interesting trade. I think I could see why both teams did it, and we rambled on for way too long about how it's probably good for both.
Yeah. Successful trade.
League Picks leaderboard week 10. So this one's fun because we actually talked about this in the group meet today because two of the members by the letter of the law set, which we also discussed on this podcast and I atoned for, now cannot reach the minimum required number of games. Yikes. And so the person who created that wants to amend the original rules of which he was so vehemently defending. I don't care though. I think it'd be better if as many people as possible are still in it. So but if they don't fucking put their picks in this week, then snip, motherfuckers.
Dude, Pebbles wants in because he's sitting at 500. He's one of the only people that reasonably has a chance to usurp.
I mean, it was his idea, and he had a child. I don't know. And apparently O'Malley misled him, although I think you got to do your own research if you're like you're doing something like this. Anyway, I'm 5 or 60 games. Let's hope they get their picks in. But going through it, Adam is first with a 583 percentage. After that, we got Asterisk with Pebbles and Bacon at 500. O'Malley's got 483. Collin's got 467. Weaver with his +2 points that should be awarded has a 0.463. Stu bring up the rear at 0.438, and he had 0 picks submitted. 24 games left to choose, including this weekend, gentlemen.
How fun.
I have my notes.
Hate to love to see it. Pebbles is the same team name. This is the repeat hate to love to see. I think I've said this for at least 3 weeks and maybe more. His, again, love this word, tepid defense was the team has been doing well with this name. So how can I change it? And let's see. Let's just look a quick look for the schedule here. Pebbles with this Fields of Broken Dreams is 500 in the last month. But if you go 2 games beyond that, he'd be 4-2. I don't remember exactly when he changed from Wet Dreams to Barren Dreams. But you're 500 over the last month, Pebbles. So I don't know if that's a great record to hang that hat on.
It's better than the 1-3 that he started. So I'm all aboard the paranoia, the name change that works. You gotta stick to what feels good for you and don't get bullied by the worst team namer in the league to change it.
This is a very tired thing. Also, I was about to agree with you that I really hate to change my name mid-season. I try to like pick one and stick with it.
Sometimes you trade away the players of your namesake, and or drop them.
Or drop them. Yeah. And then you don't even have a player in your name right now.
Well, it's a backup RB store.
Who's that?
At this point, it could be the starting RB store because I have a bunch of them.
I do think that we need at least like 20% of the league should have non-player team names. So thank you for representing that part of the league.
How many is 20% from 12?
I couldn't tell you. I'm not one of the math majors.
1 or 2. One would be like 2 would be larger.
2.4. Let's see. So we got
I'm one of them.
1 for Pebs, 1 for Brad, 1 for Bill.
And that's 2.4.
Okay, we're we're right there.
Go. It's money.
Represent.
All right, Weave, you got to hate to love to see it.
Oh my God. Yeah. So the first time that I get to watch football in a month, and I'm matched up against Stu, and this is a matchup of 2 teams that really need this win, right? And this motherfucker texts me, if I can get this win shorthanded, it'd be huge. And my team name is the IR Bandit, right? So like my whole season has just felt shorthanded. So I was just like, I had no sympathy. I was just like, motherfucker, like read the room, bro. Like, what are you saying? Shorthanded. And he's like, oh, I had a gig last night. I didn't get home till 3 a.m. I just woke up. It's 12. I meant to start Gibson, but he was questionable, so I just didn't want to risk it. And then, his only buy was Jamar Chase. I'm just like, okay. And, Woods tearing his ACL. I feel that, IR Bandit and all. That was part of my my Blood Diamond Bill defense this season. But
I did.
Yeah. Anyways, he texted me that, and so then I was just done texting Stu for the day. Hate to love to see it.
And then Stu got the W.
Yeah, that was a rough day. The first day that I get to watch football, and then it was just like not that fun of a day fantasy wise. But it happens. Who projected the Seahawks to come out like they did? I really actually felt like you must have felt Aaron Rodgers week 1 with just that like abysmal performance. Just like, what?
That game was pretty bunk all around. Like Rodgers only put up 11. Like it was baloney.
Yeah.
Although I must say, I took some guilty pleasure in Russell face diving and you benching Hurts after getting him mid-season and then keeping yourself afloat. And even this week, I think you had a tough decision this week and like going forward, right? Like now I'm just like kind of like watching from afar, you like suffer and just like eating it up. Basically, I'm sorry. I'm like on the outside looking in, man. I'm probably not gonna make the playoffs, and I was like, oh, Weaver just like gets to continue his winning ways with getting Hurts.
What? Yeah. Actually, I do feel like I'm in a fun position. I'm probably going to fail at it across the board. I'm going to talk about my team right now. If you guys just pop over to my team, check it out.
All right, we're popping over. Okay, yep.
I have several big decisions to make, right? You mentioned Russell Wilson versus Jalen Hurts. Russell Wilson is playing Arizona, so they're a tough D, right? So that's fun. That's, potential controversy. I have a tight end controversy, which I always point out on the pod. So
no, you gotta go the Freiermuth, dude.
Oh yeah, for sure. I'm going that one's an easy one for me, but
let loose.
It's something that I always call out. So it's gonna bite me in the ass. And then my running back situation is all sorts of fucked because last week, Ramondre had a great week, right? But now Damian Harris is back from the concussion. So, like, what's going to happen there? And Bolden may be out. So, okay, that's fun. Deontay Foreman, oh, he's like trending. And my anchor now for my running back core has a broken finger. So, just like, what?
I got Jeff Wilson.
I did looking into that.
So this is fun for me because Pebbles commented basically like his entire bench was projected to score like 2 points or what have you. So like there's no decisions to be made there and there's no mismanagement that you can possibly do.
Yeah.
But right now I feel like I have decisions to make and it's going to make things way more stressful this Sunday, I think.
Yeah, I feel like you're 50-50 though. So good job.
I'll take it.
Should we just hop into this week's this picks while we're talking about it?
Yeah, sure. That was a great segue.
Yeah, okay. So let's do all the matchups we're not involved in. Let's see. So why don't we start with he rides the bench 500 miles versus Dear Godwin, Make Me a Bird. We have the 10v12 team. Bill, you're frantically scrolling. So what do you think?
So this is the Bacon versus Adam. Yeah.
Yep.
Oh,
So yeah. Do you mind pulling up that matchup real quick?
I do not mind.
So I chose Bacon, and the reason I did this was because I think Adam has a lot of new folks, as I wrote. Literally, you look at his team, and imagine draft day, you would look at his team and be like, what the actual fuck happened? Tony, M. Johnson, Collins, Conklin, Agnew, you'd be like, what the actual fuck? So I feel like the core or lack thereof is present.
Damn, that's savage. And you know what? I chose my boy Adam because championships are not won on draft day. And my boy's been putting in work on the waiver wire. I have several players on my
You realize that fucking Bacon doesn't even have like 3 players in, and he's not even that far underdogged? Dude, you put in Hunter Henry, which you should have done like 3 weeks ago. That's a touchdown, a machine, dude. He's getting Kamara back. And he gets a defense. Like the defense, they're probably scarce, but I think Bacon's got it. He probably actually loses 3 days later, gets a stat correction for the win.
Oh, put it out there. Speaking manifest.
That's so rough.
All right, what are you saying, Weave? What's your
No, yeah, I'm going with Adam here. Bacon, he should have been a little bit more active on the waiver wire, maybe with some of the elite defenses available. But yeah, he's going to pick up a kicker, pick up a defense. They're not going to be the best options because those have all been taken already. But yeah, I'm flying with my boy.
All right. Well, as the third vote on this one, my notes. First one, Sacco implications? ?
Yeah.
It's a coin flip matchup. Bacon needs to replace all of his Rams, which he has yet to do so, which is kind of funny. Carson could be back for Adam this week, but if not, he has Collins. Would prefer Carson, I'm sure, but it's a thing. Herbert has a crazy last month where he's been very hot and cold. He's basically putting up 30 points or like 10 points. So if we're looking at the trend for Herbert, this would be a boom game. And they're playing the Steelers, who are super fucking banged up. I think like Watt was like questionable. I know Fitzpatrick is not playing for their secondary. Big Ben might not play. Yeah, I feel like the Chargers are almost guaranteed a victory in that game just because the Steelers are fucked up. And with all that, even though Bacon's got nobody in his lineup, I'm taking Bacon to win this one.
Let's go, Adam. Don't let me down, buddy.
You're going down, buddy.
You guys want to
Adam.
wager on this one, or should we wait for
Um,
this is for the first one and make it a little spicy? Well, maybe we can come back to it. We got a lot of other matches to talk about.
I think I would, yeah. I don't I'm down to bet on a matchup.
Yeah, I'm not going to bet on the 10v12 matchup.
I know I kind of want to bet on O'Malley versus Evan, but
Let's do it.
Let's talk about that one next. All right, Weaver, you want to lead us off? What are you thinking?
yeah, well, I went boring and I chose the first place team. I do agree that his receiver core is a little sus, but big pickup with Swift. I think that it immediately slots in. Cleveland just got annihilated by Ramondre Stevenson, so I think Swift can do the same thing. What else is there? Oh, I love that Eckler and Najee Harris are playing against each other, so that's fun. I think Najee Harris might have a game, so I'm a little bit scared about that because Chargers run defense is just a sieve. But yeah, I'm gonna bet on the first place team here.
All right. I actually viewed this as the closest matchup of the week. You look at the quarterbacks and Mahomes and Prescott. I feel like this matchup is like a it's going to sound dumb, but whether all the players do or don't, like, I think the potential is all there. I feel like Waddle, he's a target machine. Cooper is the number one on Dallas.
Nope.
You're biased. That being said,
numbers, man.
I do think Gallup is a weak point, whereas Cooks is a stronger point. But then I think it's even. The running backs are even. You got the new addition of Swift and Mixon versus Echo and Harris. I mean, those are just like fucking heavyweights. I think Robinson on O'Malley's side is a big advantage over Ayuk. I don't think Ayuk gets his projected points. And I think Robinson, he's a workhorse. I think he gets it. But I am picking Evan. I think the tight end, I think Kelsey is where it's going to be. And it's unfortunate that Patrick Mahomes is going to be throwing all those balls to Kelsey. So it's like a very, like, it's crazy how they're playing each other. And I think it's going to be like one of those, like, where Sean's rooting for the touchdown not to go to Kelsey, and it just is going to happen. So
that's super fun. You mentioned, I have two fun facts here. The first one, you mentioned Jalen Waddle, a target machine. He is the number 5 receiver in receptions in the league right now. I was shocked when I saw that. That's absolutely crazy.
Wow. And
then Dak Prescott. Do you know who Dak Prescott is bracketed by in QB rankings? Super fun. Kirk Cousins, Dak Prescott, Carson Wentz. That just doesn't feel as elite as Dak Prescott, like the name value has to me, at least. I don't know how you guys feel about it, but like the fact that he's between two like potential waiver wire pickups.
Well, he's missed a few weeks, right?
Yeah, Prescott missed at least 1, if not 2 weeks. Actually, might have missed 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Additionally, Wentz was balling there for a month. He fell off a cliff, probably like as expected this last week, but Wentz was crushing it. But yeah, no, I hear you. Like, you think Prescott, especially with that offense, would be way up there. But I think it's more due to, like, if you were to do points per game, I'm sure it would be much different than the overall.
Yeah, you're right.
I'm also taking Evan in this one. So 3 for 3, Evan picks. But this matchup is like pretty fucking awesome because there's a lot of KC versus Dallas. And I didn't even recognize that Najee and Eckler are playing against each other, which is pretty cool for O'Malley. That game is going to be like a must watch for him. I guess he's a Steelers fan anyway, but like that's going to be a super exciting game to watch. But yeah, Mahomes versus Prescott is already a shootout. And then you put Gallup versus Cooper. Gallup's someone who I was like monitoring, like as a dude in that offense. Like you want to like look at him. That Wilson dude was getting some work. I mean, yeah, come on, like there was like the wide receiver 3 has had good weeks in that.
I love looking at dudes in
In
that
any case,
offense.
there are 6 players in this matchup in that game because you have Schultz and Kelsey as well in the same game.
Wow,
So
that's crazy too.
it's a huge game for this matchup. I'm also taking Evan.
Gosh, I hope that game is just like defensive like slog.
That would be great, especially because we need
Cowboys and
O'Malley
Chiefs,
to
dude,
like
they might be
not
the
score
worst.
some points.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Next, let's look at Stu and Scott. Stu and Scott. So, Weir, you want to lead us off?
Yeah, so Stu really needs the win this week because he's shorthanded.
He
Shocking.
needs to win every week.
Shocking.
I'm going with Scott. He's fresh off of a good trade. He's got Mike Evans against the Giants. He just has the better team on paper, and the projections show it. And so that's why I'm choosing him. I think there is a little bit of adversity there. Jonathan Taylor Thomas playing Buffalo defense. That is always a little scary. Buffalo's defense has been very stingy this season. Jarvis Landry just complained about not getting the ball
No,
from
he did not.
Baco. So
He also complained.
yeah, he just complained to the media this week. He's just like, I don't know why I'm not seeing the ball, but
Oh my God, the Browns were falling apart. They were like 4-1 or 3-1 or something, and people were like, "Oh, they're going to the Super Bowl." Wow.
yeah, I mean, it's easy to like explain you're not getting the ball because Chubb and Hunt are both running for 120 yards every game. Like, we don't need to throw you the ball to win. But now that they're both out, like, okay, let's pivot to our super athletic receivers.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it's hard to explain out of that one. But yeah, I'm going with my boy Scott. Although I don't think that Antonio Brown is going to play again this week because he just started running for the first time in 4 weeks. So I don't think that means he's ready to be tackled yet.
He's got newly acquired Drake. You could throw in there, or Gesicki.
That'd be pretty fun. The double tight end start. There've been a lot of those this season.
Dude, Gesicki just had a fucking 0 catch performance. 7 targets, 0 catches, and they won. Wow. That's why he has his nickname.
He's probably actually would start Latavius Murray since they just dropped Lev Bell.
Yeah. All right, you're taking Scotch.
Scott.
What do you think?
Great Scott.
Yeah. It's tough. I am picking Scott. He does
Wow.
have some cues. If Kyler Murray plays, which I don't know if he will. He said I just looked it up. The most recent thing he said is like, I'm close to returning, but players say one things and
He's been out for 2 weeks.
yeah. And it's like one of those things where he has a game now, then by the next week, they might rest him. Who knows? Like they obviously have a long-term goal.
Yeah, I'm living that Hopkins life.
And
Same
does
shit.
he even have a backup running or quarterback?
Mac Jones.
Oh, dude,
It's Mac
Jones
yeah.
against Atlanta. Not a bad matchup.
The thing with that though is like he has to decide by tomorrow.
He's deciding
night.
tomorrow night.
Yeah, if he's gonna do that. or not.
I think if the decision is made correctly, I still have Scott. We talked about Scott's team earlier. It is very solid. And looking at Stu's team, in the flex spot, he has a New England running back. And I just think that's like just a hot potato of like whose hands gets burned. They have like there's a guy coming out from a concussion protocol. Stevens balled out, and then Bolden's like a guy. He's a guy. And also interesting thing,
guy.
I don't like when you have the defense against the running back who you're playing. Gibson playing against Carolina defense. So it's like, if he has a good game, your defense doesn't. And if your defense has a good game, your running back doesn't. And I think he's going to have to do some voodoo black magic shit to have Gibson have a good game against Carolina D and still have Carolina win the game. I think it's one of those things where if anyone's going to pull it off, it's Stu, because he's a fucking voodoo magic guy. But I got Scott.
Oh, let's see. So to make this really interesting, I'm also taking Scott, which will be 3 for 3 against Jamar Laxon. My notes are.
Yeah, that means he's gonna win for sure.
Yeah, I got it. So I guess if AB's not coming back, I mean, I thought that my notes was like he might be back. Chase coming back for Stu is huge. Aaron Jones out, big. Actually, Jones, although we've been like pumping him up, he's been in a pretty equivalent timeshare at Dylan over the last month. So trading Swift away definitely, I think, hurts Scott's team in the long run. But with Connor currently taking the Lions' share of the carries in Arizona, probably doesn't matter. Lamar also had a bad week against Miami last week. And I'm not saying he replicates that production, but still perhaps there's more notes. I'm sure the teams are going to play Lamar after the Dolphins did could take note as to what happened in that game. I think it's going to be a close one, but my gut tell me Scott.
Nice.
Gosh, just talking about this matchup made me revisit last week against Stu. And if you have Lamar Jackson and Devontae Adams put up 15 and 11, like you should be able to win that matchup. And I'm just so sad. So sad.
They got PTSD going.
Hey, let's talk about the Max versus Peds.
Yeah.
And I'd love to go first. I'm calling it. This is the dad matchup.
Hey, that's
Isn't that fucking sick that we have one of these right now? Like, I feel like whoever wants to win this matchup needs to have some fucking dad pants and is gonna need to fix shit around the house and not watch the games, and just needs to, like, I don't know, fucking get their women to get beers and shit. I don't know. Can you do that this year? I don't know. Borderline. But I think whoever gets their wives to get a beer will win the game. I'm going to say that.
Okay.
No,
Okay.
but from a purely analytical standpoint, I think it's funny that the defenses play each other. Pitt versus the Clippers.
Yeah, wow.
And the Clippers versus the Pitt. And as Collin said, I think the Clippers gotta fucking they're gonna win. And not only that, I do think, okay, maybe not. Anyway, I picked I got Max.
That was some next level analysis right there.
Yeah.
Was that the end of your end?
It was. The
Yep.
defenses
Okay.
playing each other. Yep. That was it.
All right. By you, Eve.
I'm going Fields of Broken Dreams.
Wow. Why is that?
Pebbles still has to pick up a kicker, and that is going to make up the entirety of the difference of their projection, their Bush difference. No, just kidding. Why is that?
That'd be great.
I think Michael Carter with Joe Flacco against Miami defense.
Strange decision by the Jets.
I'm calling 7 points. Devin Singletary against Indianapolis. I'm calling 4 points. Kyle Pitts versus Bill Belichick. I'm calling 2 points. So just based off of that, very minor shit talk. I think Tyler Lockett is annoyingly going to steal all of the revenge game touches for Seattle instead of DK Metcalf, my guy. Damian Harris being back against Atlanta is like a juicy, like Pebbles is just salivating at that. Mandrews is the man. Yeah, I'm choosing Pebbles for that.
I am choosing Max.
Oh, this is fun. I'm down to bet on the dads.
Okay, well, hold. Yeah, Harris coming back from Pebs, which is good for him. Max went with the double LAC special teams, which happened this morning for those of us who are watching that type of thing. Both his boy D Hopkins, who was formerly of the football team, and the LACD picked up by Max. I think both these teams are very boomer busty. I feel like we've been calling Max's number all season because of the stack that he has with Diggs and Allen and Hill. Obviously, has not resulted in a lot of wins. Yeah, I just think that Max's team is going to be the one booming, or at least a little more than Pebs. Not really sure what's going on with Russ in Seattle, but after last week, I don't know. I'm not super convinced he can do it again. Devonta Smith has been like crazy good the last few weeks, and he's probably going to crash down to earth
against New Orleans, especially.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, New England, like running back carousel, like who fucking knows? I think it'd be close. This is a tough one to choose, but I went with Max.
Mm-hmm.
These two traded. Who did Max get? It was Allen Robinson.
Yeah, it was Robinson and Smith for Drake and
Smith, right?
No, so Smith and Robinson were traded for each other.
Right.
And then it was
Kenyon Drake,
who's now gone, and someone else who I think is also now gone.
Probably on the bench, not start worthy.
So it's just switching Allen Robinson for Devontae Smith.
Which is
It was Michael Thomas.
Thomas, that's right. Yeah.
Wow.
Devontae Smith and Michael Thomas for Allen Robinson and Kenyon Drake.
So since then,
That's awkward.
I think Smith has been the guy.
Yeah, and
Allen Robinson has yet to eclipse double digits this entire season in fantasy points.
Yikes.
It happened October 5th. So in that time frame, from Devontae Smith, there was 11 points, 482. There was a tumultuous journey, and then 2020. And Allen Robinson just has not really done much. 5.7238.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. Fields is definitely on the uptick. But Mooney also as well. So we'll see.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm taking Mr. Max in that one.
I'm down to bet on the dads. Let's go.
Yeah, let's do it.
What do you want to bet on the dads? Should we do
Obviously a shot.
or what if it was some kind of dad related bet?
Oh.
You got to impregnate your woman.
Sorry, honey. I lost this bet on this fantasy football matchup. We have to have a kid now. Yep, sorry. The terms are binding.
Like keeping the walk or something. We'll just bring it back. Loser of the bet has to become a dad. That's some high. You still want to bet? Okay, shots fine. Yeah. Okay, shot. Jesus Christ. Okay, with that, why don't we talk about your matchup, Weaver? And nice name change for that one. I'll start with this one. So in looking at this one, I actually am taking maybe shockingly, I'm taking Weaver. I know not many times that actually happens, but this is why I'm taking Weaver. So it's gonna be a close one. The Bush for you both is very low. This is going to be a low scoring affair, I think, although Bush can be misleading. But I mean, what are you doing, man? Look at this. Look at that shit. It's a low ass bush. You got a bonsai bush. Additionally, Mitchell has a fucking broken finger, like you talked about. Your wide receiving core is pretty questionable at best. I mean, like none of them has done much of anything in the last few weeks. Well, oh, that's Mitchell. That's Mitchell. Bateman. Oh, Bateman.
Yeah, Bateman's been up on the uptake.
I think so. Marquise Brown had a random fucking injury pop up today. So if he can't play, which would fuck me over an hour matchup, Bateman would then get some boost.
Oh, wow.
But as it stands right now, I think your wide receivers are questionable. Brad's got some Rams on a bye. Patterson, who's been huge for him, is doubtful, and Hockencock is on the bench currently after his goose egg. I had in my notes that Howard was under Bush, but you now benched him, so I guess that is moot. Good defensive matchup for both teams, Tennessee versus Houston and New England versus Atlanta. I think that's going to be pretty fun. Both those defenses could easily get double digits. But in this close one, because, well, I think Brad's got more question marks than you do. I'm taking you. I know. What do you think, Bill?
I have Brad winning this matchup. And the reason is I do think, and I had this, this is going to be, I think, the lowest scoring matchup on the week. I think it's going to be a defensive battle to euphemism that
the
one.
old Bill fantasy defense.
Yeah. I'm going to pick a homer. I think Derek Carr is going to have a game against Cincinnati. I just think that's a shootout. I just think like Burrow's going to sling it and then Carr's going to have to sling it. As long as fucking Deshaun Jackson doesn't throw a fumble in the defenders' faces, I think we have a shot. God damn it. That play was fucking ridiculous. I almost pulled my hair out. I was like, what the fuck's happened? You've just run the other way. You have a touchdown. Anyway. No, I just think the boomier plays of Brad's is gonna out boomier. I don't think your team's even that boomy, Weaver. I think you have a solid team. I think yours is solid. It's more solid, but I just think like sometimes a solid is less than a boomy team. And this week I pick a boomy team.
Your defense?
Very fair. After a certain number of injuries, your team loses its boom a little bit. You're not wrong. You're just an asshole. No, it's cool. It's cool. I respect your opinion. I chose myself because of the age-old adage, you always bet on yourself. And the reason is just I'm just hoping for some of the floors of some of Brad's players, right? Like I'm very lucky that I'm not playing him with Cooper Kupp and Matt Stafford and Cordarrelle Patterson. Those have been his three big dogs this whole season. And he's getting Saquon back. So I'm a little bit scared about that. Saquats. And I'm playing against the double tight end. Back in the day, a double tight end start was like truly desperation. And this season, it's been like kind of, I don't know, like manageable. I think double tight end has won a lot this season. But I can easily see a world in which Derek Carr and Josh Jacobs both combine for 20 points. And Marvin Jones puts up a 3 spot and Mike Williams puts up 4. I'm really hoping that these things happen. And I'm not really hoping that my team booms, more so that his team busts.
Right. Yes.
Yeah. And so I definitely could see us being the low score matchup of the week. But I also think that there is talent on both of our teams. I think that we both.
There's a lot of heart.
Yes.
These guys are trying really hard.
Talent.
my team just refuses to give up despite all this adversity, you know? I'm in third place. I'm in third place still, given everything that's happened.
Yeah.
So my team, I've got the blood in my veins and I've got the taste of blood in my mouth, and I'm coming for blood.
I think that's
and
the food
bread.
poisoning still. But hey, I will say I played Brad last week and he fucking low scored. I do have his team is the boomiest and the bustiest. And I will give you Patterson was a factor in that. And that dude he didn't play last game. He got 4 points. Granted, he had an ankle sprain. I lucked out on that, but it's a very boom busty team, whereas yours is very solid. So I think we're all spot on here when it comes to, we just are interpreting the data different.
We just have different wants. And right now I really want to win.
I need this win.
I need it.
Yeah, that's a fun one. You have a fun matchup because it's the 3v5 playoff implications.
Very much the implications.
Last matchup.
You too. You want to talk about under bushing? Is your bush score indicative of like what's going on with your bush score?
Well, he's going to play Chubb so he'll get an extra 20 points.
Yeah, Yahoo is very, I guess the Browns haven't released an injury report, but right now Johnson is bushed at 0.03, which even like if Chubb was playing seems insanely low. Like what an insanely low bush to put on someone. But yeah, Chubb, who's on my COVID list, who's still on the COVID list, is projected at 17 points. Not that brings me like much closer to Bill, but it'll be, more respectable than it is now. But in any case, yeah, what are your thoughts, non-participant in the Bill versus Collin off?
I'm going Big Daddy Bill. I think his RB core is strong. With Aaron Jones' injury, like, the rich get richer with that one. That's super annoying. DJ Moore, does he get better or worse with Cam? I don't know. I'm excited to find out if they reconnect in that regard. It seemed like Robbie Anderson has benefited the most from Darnold's injury, but Debo is the truth. It's so fun that he's succeeding as hard as he is.
Good.
Yeah, your team is nasty, Bill. And, I'm sorry, Collin. I think you don't stand a chance against Blood Diamond this week.
Yeah, no, I agree with you.
White flag.
I also think Bill's gonna win. My team is pretty weak and pathetic. The roster you see now is probably not the roster you're going to see on Sunday. Hopkins hasn't played for 2 weeks. The Cardinals have a bye after this week. So it's very realistic that they sit both Murray and Hopkins to then heal up for the stretch run. In which case, I got to throw in Mr. Robbie Anderson, which is crazy. Yeah. Bill's team seems to be getting healthy at the right time, where my team is just like same old. I've been kind of skating by the past few weeks, and I think now I'm going to play a, apologies to Bacon and Adam, but a true contender. And so I think I'm going to be exposed pretty hard this week. McCaffrey and Montgomery both coming back at the same time for Bill is huge. And then Aaron Jones going down, and Dylan, who was already like getting increased work because Dylan is fucking good. And like now that he's the one, he scored 2 touchdowns. I'm pretty sure. Quarter. Yeah. On the last, so like, yeah, I mean, a lot would have to go right for me and a lot would have to go wrong for Bill for this to be a close matchup. So I think Bill's going to take it. But we have a third opinion.
Yeah, I'm going to pick Collin. I'm just kidding. No. It's funny. Weaver's coined himself as the IR bandit. And I feel like I'm finally coming to my full form with CMC and Montgomery coming back. I have yet to like play both of them since very early weeks. And it coincided with a third starting running back. Like straight up, I just took a steroid shot to the ass here and just fucking skipped a few forms and just got it. I might even play Hunter Renfro over DJ Moore if I'm just like kind of iffy on it. I know Washington's a decent matchup, but yeah, I just think I'm gonna cruise to this one.
What about Adrian Peterson?
Oh, I might drop him.
This is actually something I forgot to mention earlier on. Now that we have a consensus, Bill's gonna wipe the floor with me. We can go somewhere else. So there was a huge spending splurge on those running backs for the Titans. Peterson was $52 for Bill, and over the 2 weeks that has transpired since then, Peterson has scored 11.6 points, which is to the tune of $4.48 of fab budget per point. $4.48 per point. However, McNichols, who Stu spent 56 fab dollars on, has scored 6.3 points over the past 2 weeks, which is to the tune of $8.89 per point. So the heavy investment into the Titans backfield has not really, transferred into much. I know Weaver, you have Mr. Foreman, who you picked up for. Would you spend anything for him, or was it free? It was $0. Yeah, free.
You dog.
I'm not convinced he is going to result in anything meaningful, but the expenditure versus the points had is already through the roof for you versus those other two guys.
Yeah, baby.
Hell yeah.
To the moon. This week, it's happening.
Sweet.
So that's that.
Any closing thoughts?
Yeah, I had a couple, but then I lost them with that the fab stuff. It's gone for no, actually. Kudos, Bill, for your 6-4 record, losing Montgomery and CMC. I mean, made it a little easy that you drafted Chuba Hubbard. So having your own handcuff is pretty convenient.
And it so happened
Herbert.
where during the waiver wire pickup when Montgomery went down, some other running back was the priority ad, and I added Herbert on a whim, and it turned out he was the guy. So I got lucky there. Yeah.
Yeah. Fantasy is a lot of luck. Yeah. So kudos, respect for your record, where you're at now without your boys.
Yeah. Deebo Samuel, I'm gonna buy that dude's jersey at the end of the fucking year. I swear to God.
You should. He's a stud.
Money, dude.
If you win, we'll see.
No, he's my recluse. He's my shell that I just
What?
take warmth. Let's just end it. Is it? He's a man.
It's time. We're 2 hours in. It's time. Good night, boys. Stay warm out there.
Adios.
Survive.